Massive Colorado wildfire burns near Boulder. Crews are searching for 8 people who didn't leave their homes as a wildfire tore through a canyon in the foothills near Boulder, Sheriff's Commander Rich Broth said on Wednesday. Broth said 20 people were initially reported as missing and 12 have been accounted for. It's unclear whether the remaining 8 were in some of the at least 92 structures, 54 of them homes that have been destroyed. Many more homes are likely to have been destroyed since only 10% of the burned area has been surveyed. More reports about missing people are expected, he also added, saying that we will again today have officers up in the area documenting houses that have been destroyed, structures that have been damaged. But even if you go to the house and it's burned down, he said, you're not going to be able to tell if someone's in it. That will take an investigation. Crews on Wednesday continued to battle the massive blaze, as well as other obstacles. Downed power lines, propane tanks that could explode, rattlesnakes, steep terrain, and poison ivy. Some 3,500 people have been evacuated from approximately 1,000 homes since the fire broke out on Monday. The fire erupted in a tinder-dry canyon northwest of Boulder. Residents packed everything they could into their cars and sped down narrow, winding roads to safety, encountering a vicious firestorm that melted the bumper of one couple's van. State of emergency. Governor Bill Ritter declared a state of emergency Tuesday as officials nearly doubled the fire's estimated size to more than 7,100 acres, or 11 square miles, based on better mapping. At one point, the plume from the fire could be seen in Wyoming, 90 miles to the north. Authorities investigated reports that the fire started when a car crashed into a propane tank. They're also trying to figure out why an automated phone alert system failed for 2 hours during the evacuation, forcing authorities to go door to door to search for people in harm's way. The fire caused no known injuries, as residents appeared to get out of the area in time. Winds pushed the fire through 3 canyons where disease, drought, and beetles that burrow under the bark have killed pine trees. The so-called bark beetles have killed more than 3.5 million acres of trees in Colorado and southeastern Wyoming, and is attributed to climate change or global warming. And the dead trees are seen as a significant wildfire threat. Gusty winds hampered firefighting on Monday, and a squadron of firefighting planes was grounded much of the day on Tuesday because smoke covered the canyonlands and obscured targets. A mix of cold and warm air sandwiched smoke over their area. But 8 tankers were cleared to take off later in the day after the inversion began to clear. At least 300 firefighters, including crews from Wyoming and outside the region, were battling the wildfire. Crews managed to save the historic town of Gold Hill. Though westerly dry winds that spread the blaze Monday had eased on Tuesday, authorities said no portion of the fire was contained. Authorities plan to start posting the addresses of buildings destroyed on the Boulder Office of Emergency Management website Tuesday night to start letting people know the fate of their property. It will be at least 2 days, if not more, before anyone is allowed to go home. A government website listed the addresses of 53 homes destroyed, based on a survey of only 5 to 10% of the burned area. More addresses were to be posted on the Boulder Office of Emergency Management site. Some of those forced out of their homes expressed frustration with not knowing what was going on. Closer to the fire, some people were seen crossing unmanned road checkpoints to get a closer glimpse of the damage angering local authorities and officials. Authorities say allowing citizens to travel the area's narrow roads will impede fire crews. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, said on Tuesday it authorized funds to help cover firefighting costs. Frantic people, residents gathered Tuesday at a mountain overlook to watch the yellowish-brown haze. Despite the fire's quick and destructive advance, no injuries had been reported so far, although some residents told of very narrow escapes. County health officials advised residents to stay indoors if the smoky air became irritating. The Red Cross set up an overnight evacuation center. And again, all these are more extreme, intense weather events. Also, there have been a number of fires in Detroit caused by high winds. At least 24 buildings were ablaze across large sections of Detroit Tuesday night as winds knocked over power lines and fanned flames. Electricity was knocked out to at least 113,000 Michigan homes and businesses, said DTE Energy and CMS Energy Corporation. No injuries were reported. High winds were causing dead limbs to fall from trees, knocking down the wires that have been igniting. Winds were gusting to at least 50 miles per hour, and humidity was low. Throughout the whole city, the same thing was happening. Wires were down everywhere. More extreme weather events. And there is more drought going on in many parts of the eastern United States. And again, there's something much bigger going on here. Because everything is numbered. And everything is connected. Yes, climate change is real. It's happening right now. Revelation chapter 10. And I saw another mighty angel come down from heaven, clothed with a cloud, and a rainbow was upon his head. His face was as it were the sun, and his feet as pillars of fire. 2. And he had in his hand a little book open. And he set his right foot upon the sea, and his left foot on the earth. 3. And cried with a loud voice, as when a lion roars. And when he had cried, 7 thunders uttered their voices. 4. And when the 7 thunders had uttered their voices, I was about to write, and I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Seal up those things which the 7 thunders uttered, and write them not. 5. And the angel which I saw stand upon the sea and upon the earth lifted up his hand to heaven. 6. And swore by him that lives forever and ever, who created heaven and the things that therein are, and the earth and the things that therein are, and the sea and the things which are therein, but there should be time no longer. 7. But in the days of the voice of the 7th angel, when he shall begin to sound, the mystery of God should be finished, as he has declared to his servants the prophets. And yes, it's time. It's time for all prophecy to be fulfilled. All these things are physical manifestations of the book of Revelation. And these are the end times, transition days. There is a great transition going on all around the world. Daily.